The Arkansas Toothpick, as featured in the film The Expendables. Haven't seen it yet. Going to watch that tonight, I think, playing with this. It dates from around 1800, and the history of these things is a bit of guesswork, frankly. Blacksmith Forum.com states that if we know 10% of the history of the Bowie knife, which I think is probably fairly accurate, we know 1% of the history of these. So there's three really nice stories I've got here about the early history of these things. There was a newspaper article written stating that Arkansans scratched their backs and picked their teeth with their knives, hence the name. No, I've actually tried picking my teeth with this because I saw the story and thought, let's have a go. Not if you like your tongue. And as for scratching your back, well, your kidneys are better staying in your chest cavity, really. Try scratching your back with that. And you can do minor surgery fairly brutally. And in America, early 1800s, didn't have a particularly big industrialised manufacturing base. These came along in 1873 and revolutionised production as we know it, of course. So an awful lot of knives came from Britain, made in Sheffield, made a lot of them by IXL. And there's a theory that perhaps IXL wrote Arkansas Toothpick on that. It doesn't seem to be backed up by any evidence, and it seems to be a fairly silly argument anyway, but this is one of the theories put forward. Another one is the Historic Arkansas Museum, states that both the Bowie and the Arkansas Toothpick are one and the same knife. Given that nobody really knows what the first Bowie looks like, it's a possibility, and the Bowie as we know it obviously has developed over a couple of hundred years, so it could be the case. But there is a brilliant newspaper article dating from 1849. This is about an altercation in the Arkansas State House, and it mentions the Bowie knife being drawn by one Anthony Wilson, called in that state the Arkansas Toothpick. I would love, if anybody knows what Anthony Wilson was doing with a drawn Bowie knife in the Arkansas State House, I would love to know. You'd imagine it. There are all these politicians going, oh, we're fighting for this, we're fighting for that. Go on then, pick one of these up. One of you, and the winner gets the policy. That is how politics should be done, isn't it? Sick and tired of them. Now, this knife was originally commissioned from Gil Hibben by Sylvester Stallone. Mr. Stallone is lucky enough to be able to afford to collect Hibben's knives that start roughly £1,000, $1,500 or so. There is a more expensive version of this particular knife that has a little signature here and signatures on it. And there's this version, which is the cheapest one. It's, I think, about £30. The more expensive versions are harder to find in this country. So I went for the cheaper version because, let's face it, it's a replica prop from a movie. It's not without quality issues. You can just about see the grinding lines, machining lines that haven't been polished out. See, the fit of this bit of brass here is really, really nice, but on this side, there's quite a gap just there. It's quite badly undercut. In fact, this has almost got a channel gouged out of it. There is some issues with this band here, and this one is just not really very good at all. Having said that, the overall design of the knife is, as you'd expect, absolutely fabulous. Beautiful convex grind, same here. It is just absolutely superb. I do like this little inlaid brass, that looks really nice. The handle is going to protect your hand from, well, everything this side of thermonuclear war, I should think. It is huge. That's a weapon in itself, really. It fits the hand absolutely beautifully. You can sort of push up against it like that, like that. The shape of the handle is sublime. You've got a beautiful little bit of swelling here. This bit gives you a superb handhold. It really is great for waving it around and what I'd imagine knife fighting would actually be like without ever actually having experienced it, and for which I am, would you imagine, pretty grateful. And as I've said, I live in one of the more civilised parts of England where we don't tend to really need to carry these things around. And now I bought this living in the civilised part of England. I'm not entirely certain we're going to be able to own knives like this for much longer. Things have been restricted more and more and more. Certainly be able to buy them. They're not easy to come across. There's only a couple of retailers now actually stock them. But it is superb. It's a superb knife. The qualities could be better. This is 440 stainless. This is supposed to be wood. Sounds a bit plasticky to me. There is a little bit of grain shabbing through just there, but overall, I mean, to actually be able to handle and hold one of the originals, one of the actual proper ones made by the chap himself, I think would be absolutely wonderful. This is about as good as I'm going to get. I really can't afford £1,000 knife. Not yet, anyway. I'm sure if I walked into a bank with one of these, I'd be able to get some cash, though. It is that good. It's more of a, I think, frankly, it's more of a small sword than a big knife, but it is brilliant. I really do like this. I have spent every evening since Christmas when I got this, sitting and fondling it, playing with it at home. And I'm going to have great delight tonight having a drink and playing with it while I watch the Expendables film. The only real disadvantage with these is you can possibly see that it's a proper magnet for fingerprints. So you're going to need some polishing stuff if you've got one of these, but it is a beautiful knife. Sheath, leather, is actually ambidextrous. This little tab is pivoted and can go through. So you can basically hold it any way you like. It really is. The quality of the design shows through, not necessarily the quality of the materials, but then this is a cheap movie prop. It's the first one I've ever owned. There is another Bowie knife, Expendables Bowie knife, designed by Gil Hibben, and I think I might end up owning one of those as well. It really is excellent. It's a very, very big knife, I was going to say. It weighs half a kilogram or about a pound. See, the blade is just over 12, I think it's 12.25 inches. Handle is right around 5.5 inches. It is a big, big knife, and it's excellent.